Good morning, my dear gardeners. You know what? The other day I was walking around my generous garden and all other roses, and I noticed that something is going on there in that canopy. There are some yellow leaves present. So I tried to investigate what's going on, and I found the cause. So I thought to myself it would be a good idea to create a video about what is several major causes of yellow leaves on roses. I think it's going to be very helpful to you. The most well-spread reason why we have yellow leaves in the canopy of the rose might be the greediness of the rosarian. And I know it sounds funny, but look at my Lady of Shalott, not Lady of Shalott, this is Lady of Shalott, generous gardener. When I was trimming its long canes in spring, I really was very generous with old canes. And it's always a good idea to trim old canes out. And by doing it, we let rose create new canes. Rose has energy to invest into new shoots. So what I did, several oldish shoots on my generous garden, I left. And now they are dying off slowly. And as a result, I have that yellowish haze in the middle of my generous garden, which is not a good idea. I should have cut that cane right at the beginning in spring and stopped wasting rose energy. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go in, slowly cut all those stems all the way to the bottom and get rid of that stem altogether, because it is going to die. Here is my Lady of Shalott. I was looking around and I saw this yellow foliage at the bottom, and this is a clear sign that this stem is dead. So when you see something like this, a yellowish foliage, look at the stem. You see the stem? It generally is a weak stem here to begin with at the lower part of the canopy of the rose. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut it. Actually, let me do it right now. Give me a second. You just cut it out before the dieback spreads to the rest of the cane. Oh, it's already dead in, so I have to cut further. Maybe, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and cut the whole stem all the way back to the end. Oh yeah, you see the stem inside, it's brown, so it is damaged. So the first sign of yellow leaves would be semi-dead stems, and go ahead, you can cut them out at any time of the year. But there are very interesting developments happening in the nutrition of the rose, which can indicate why the rose leaves are yellow. And let's talk about this important rose nutrient, the first on the three sign label, nitrogen. And nitrogen is a movable agent, so rose can move it around between the top and the bottom of its canopy. So when there is a deficiency of nitrogen, and very often we can see it in houseplants, the lower leaves start to become yellow. And that's a very good sign that there is not enough nitrogen in the soil. And what does nitrogen does? It is responsible for green growth, creating strong stems, building up a nice canopy of the bush. And if the bush is missing that nitrogen, that building agent, what does rose do? It realizes, okay, there's a shortage of nitrogen. Let me push all the nitrogen to the top where the collection of sun rays are happening, and let's sacrifice the lower leaves at the bottom of the canopy where they're not really serving a lot of purpose, and let's live. That's how rose does it. So when you see when you see the yellowing of the leaves at the bottom of the rose, it means rose needs to be fed. She needs nitrogen. But there are situations when rose has yellow leaves on top, and it is very well spread among roses, I must say. I had it once in my garden. It is iron deficiency. And because Iron is not a movable agent. Rose cannot move it around. So lower leaves, at the beginning of the growth, lower leaves were forming. There was enough iron in the soil. Rose made those leaves nice and green. But then when the growing season continues, rose lacks iron and these leaves starts to become yellowish looking, and very often the iron deficiency manifests itself with green veins on the leaves, and the tissues among the leaves are somewhat pale. Oh, wait a second, what do I have here? Look at this. Oh, isn't this beautiful? Sawfly lovey is eating my rose. Okay, let's investigate. Usually sawfly larvae is at the bottom of the stem. Do we have her here? No, we don't. Let's see, maybe we... Oh yeah, look at this. Here she is. You see this little larvae? Usually her head is yellow, and the inside of the body is green, and the outside is kind of yellowish. And because, okay, these sawfly larvae are miserable little things, and they feed on roses. You see how they, let me see this one. Okay, let me show you. Focus on this, my cameraman. You see the window pane eating habit? All the tissues. So what does sawfly larvae do? They eat the tissues of the leaf on one side, leaving another side very pale, and usually they cannot chew through the membranes of the leaf. So we have this kind of window pane effect. That's a sure sign that sawfly larvae is present. Okay, so let me get, you know what, usually I know that some of you just squish these guys with your fingers. Let me get my soap water. I will be right back. All right, I have soap water. Oh, little miseries. Let's get you into the soap water. Off she goes. All right, that's it. This is for that little lady. And you know what, very often sawfly larvae in my garden kind of coexists with good and bad guys. When I see her, I get her. Well, her. When I see sawfly larvae, I get those little guys. But usually, I think chickadees are doing that for me. Very often, I see little birdies going around my roses, one stem by one, and they're eating something. And I'm hoping those are little sawfly larvae. And by the way, there is a video I did how to treat sawfly larvae in the garden if you have a huge infestation. But if you have a little bit of it present, like I just found one on my rose, Lady of Shalott, just hand pick it. It's not a biggie. And just keep a track of your roses, you know, walk every day and see what's happening. And a bug here, a bug there, you just manually put it in the soap water. So what I do, I have a cup of coffee in one hand and the soap water in another, and you just walk and enjoy your garden. So that's how I do it. And look how beautiful she is, my Lady of Shalott. She's approaching her crescendo, her wonderful blooms. She's not full yet. This is her beginning of her blooms. And look at all the buds coming up. Pretty. Oh, I see something happen here. The bud is down. Oh well. Look how many buds she has. Okay, to summarize this video, abiotic conditions on roses, meaning conditions which are not caused by parasites, would be iron deficiency when leaves on the top or in the middle of the canopy of the bush are becoming kind of pale looking. Then the nitrogen deficiency, when the bottom of the leaves are yellow. Usually when you look at the plant, there is like a yellow wave. That's nitrogen deficiency. Your plants are starving. And then when there is lack of food and canes are damaged, the whole yellowing will happen through the whole cane. And usually that yellowing is just yellow and that's it. No spots, nothing. It's just pale yellow because of a lack of food. So that's it. Hopefully this video was helpful. Please do subscribe. It would be lovely. And like this video. And let's enjoy our roses together. And again, don't forget to put your nose into a rose today, or any flower in your garden. Happy gardening!